right. Oh, it says we're live. Okay, so I'm going to do the usual thing where I both say and ask the chat, can you see and hear? And maybe somebody will answer, and maybe they won't. But in any case, I'm just going to assume that it is because I did do a sound check test. And so this month, it actually occurred to me the last time we were hosted by you. We also did this topic, but it comes up every year, which is music from Cape Breton. Yeah. So far people haven't objected to this because these are really some wonderful tunes. And basically the Cape Breton story, just to simplify and review, is that Cape Breton's in Nova Scotia. It's the eastern part of Canada, very heavily settled by Scottish people back in the day. At this point, 150 to 250 years ago. And they brought their traditions with them, including the Gaelic language. Many of the settlers in Cape Breton Island were from the western parts of Scotland or the islands off, the Hebrides off the coast. So at the time, many of them were Gaelic speakers. They had, singing, dancing, and music traditions. So, and then of course they settled in communities all around Cape Breton. Not everybody who lives in Cape Breton is of Scottish descent, obviously, but that cultural element has just remained very strong. And so, should I move this so that you'll be able? Are you going to be able to see my fingers? And it's good enough. Okay. All right. So the cultural traditions were brought over. They also evolved over time. But one thing that is true about Cape Breton culture is that it has been pretty strongly able to retain traditions. It was isolated until the 1950s because it was an island and you had to take a ferry to get to it. They built a causeway in the 1950s, and that opened things up because then they could send trains across the causeway, and a lot easier to get from one place to another. And the Trans-Canada Highway that eventually goes to Newfoundland, not via causeway but by ferry still, it runs through Cape Breton. So it did kind of open up transportation. Before the causeway, there was a lot more, I would say, a vibrant culture in Cape Breton, but a lot of communities, and the way you got around was more old-fashioned. Even in the 1920s, there were people with wagons drawn by horses. It wasn't a given that everybody would be taking a car or a truck. And the Gaelic language was being spoken. So I in this position of getting to find out a lot about Cape Breton music because my husband's family, his parents are both from Cape Breton, and we go there every year, and I spend some time there, and I get to refresh on Cape Breton music culture especially. But there's family members, so I get all the family stories. I get to, sort of see firsthand and talk to neighbors, and it's just a, all around experience of culture. And I've been going back for decades at this point. So every year, I try to make sure that I go to a bunch of music events that are easy to find in the summertime in Cape Breton. So it's a great place to be a full music tourist, because there are square dances, which is their own kind of Cape Breton squares. There's festivals every weekend in the summer. There are ceilidhs, which are basically concerts of a more informal type that are any night of the week you care to name, depending what part of the island you're in. I am lucky that the place that we stay, our family place, is about a kilometer road from Kaylee that runs 2 nights a week.
Wow.
And so all these great musicians come practically to my doorstep. I just think it's just such a great situation. I wouldn't change it for anything. So every time I go to as many of these Kayleys as I can possibly make it to, and I listen for all good tunes. And so that most of my presentations of Cape Breton music have something to do with, I heard these good tunes last summer when I was there. So especially if I start hearing tunes from more than one player, then I get the idea, okay, this one's a hot tune now. So this month's workshop is hot tunes from Cape Breton, and I always have fun finding these. So what should I start with? I'm going to start with a jig. This one, it actually runs 64 bars in its regular format. That's because they repeat sections that are 16 bars long. So it's not really 64 unique bars. In fact, there's a lot of repetition. But this one is I think a pretty straightforward learning by ear. Now, here's the interesting thing. Just to absolutely show you that Cape Breton music historically was tied in with Scottish traditions and still is. This tune is actually Scottish, and it's a recent composition from Scotland. Some of you might have heard of the group Blazing Fiddles. So Blazing Fiddles just kind of has a fresh approach to traditional music, and for many years they've run this basically summer music event. Is it in the summer? I don't know. Some of our Fiddle Club members have actually been to it. It's called Blazing in Bewley. Bewley is near Inverness, in the Highlands of Scotland, and so they have a camp basically that gives you lots of chances to learn music, not just fiddle, because the band members play different instruments. So this one is by Alan Henderson, who's part of that group, and it's called Thursday Night in the Cally, and the Cally is spelled Caley, and I've heard this tune called Thursday Night at the Cally. Obviously, it's easy to make that mistake, but it's called the Cally because at this Blazing in Bewley, which I think Doug just came in, I think he's been to it, they have a jam session at the Caledonian Hotel, which is the Cally. So it refers to a Thursday night session at the Caledonian Hotel. But I learned this in Cape Breton, where the tune has spread, and it's a hit. I heard more than one player play it at the Kayleys last time, although I interpreted the name as Thursday Night at the Kayleys. And I had to learn, oh, that's why. But I actually looked up members of Blazing Fiddle teaching it and explaining why it was called that. So let me play it for you. Yeah, so it's a jig in the key of C. It spends a certain amount of time in A minor, just enough to say, oh, this is not your garden variety C jig. Let's go ahead and learn it. So no sharps, no flats for that matter, but you have to keep in mind, anytime you have an F, there's going to be an F natural and not an F sharp. And anytime you have a C, whether it's low or high, it's also going to be C natural because that's the home key is C natural. Okay, pickup notes, it's extended. It takes half the bar to do the pickup note. We're heading right down G down to E. So that's the first downbeat is the E. So we connect it up with the melody now. It's a little scale work there. Focused around that C, right? You're going up, then going down, and back to the C. Let me put it back in context. So with the note right before it. Something to it. Back to the E. With the pickups. Ready for more? Okay, our next little phrase is a pickup note. We were just on E. So we're going to have a D pickup note just so that we can start by doing. Here's what happens though. I said this tune is from Scotland, so they would probably play it in Scotland with the open E string. In Cape Breton, they're more likely to do fourth finger and open together. Right, so we now have our second little bit. One more thing to add to that, it's so far, including the extended pickup.
Can you do it first?
Yeah, I'll do it first. Listen first, right? No? Okay. So here's what happens next. We just had, I'll just play it, and then I'll tell you what's next. Right. There we go. I got it right that time. So we just had. So we're in A minor territory here. High, low A, high A. With the pickup note. Okay, so so it is scale work in a sort of pentatonic style. That means we've got a hole in the scale, skipping the F. But otherwise, we're going right up and down. Good so far? Yeah, last note is yes. Right. So the whole A minor section. So let's try that. I want to add one more thing. Because we're headed back to the thing we started with. So let's write down the scale from E. So this acts as pickup notes for the recap of the first phrase. Let me put it again into context. I'll take the A minor section. All right, let's all try that. Okay, now I want to put it into an actual context of the 8-bar phrase. So how did we start this tune? You have a question?
No, I was going to ask if you can do it by yourself.
Yeah,
So we could hear it.
yeah. Who remembers how it started?
Was it an E?
Long pickup notes? Right, right down the scale from G. So I'll listen while I play the 8-bar phrase. I'm headed back to that. So when I ask you to listen, just no playing. It's easier for everybody else to hear what the phrase is.
Okay.
All right, but now it's a chance for everybody to play. So let's go ahead and see if we can do that 8-bar phrase. Yeah. Okay, let's do it again, including the pickup notes. Yeah, I forgot to put that on myself. Okay, another time so I can get it right. And guess what is next? Just like before. So we actually can get 12 bars. So let's do 12 bars all together. Okay, and you don't go the same direction. It has a different ending. So let's learn this new ending. So we just said. It's all, again, this sort of, I have a hexatonic scale because I think, no, it skips the B note also. It is pentatonic. All right, so we're skipping B, we're skipping F. But we're basically running up and down the C scale with no F and no B. So after we into the second phrase where we rehash the so we arpeggiate our way up C, E, G. And then we're back in A minor briefly again because we hit that A note. And then it's parallel. But from here we're going up. Example of pentatonic scale there because we're just going down, skipping the B, and then coming back up. And if we encountered an F, we would skip it. So from that C that you're at the end of the phrase, and we arpeggio up. All very pentatonic. No Fs, no Bs. So let's play C and then arpeggio. Does that make sense? Let's try it again. I think it'll be easier when I complete the whole phrase, but I don't want to throw all of that at you right away. But I think it hopefully gives us a good starting place if this is to make it clear, this is the end of the previous phrase. And then this is the top of the phrase. 2 more bars to go. So let's play that C. Let's do that same thing again with the C. Top of the phrase. Yeah, okay, let's start to come together a little more. Again, same thing with the C. I want to give you the rest of the phrase. You ready for it? Okay, so we just came up. So we're going down. We're going to skip B. We're going to skip F. It's just a scale. So our final phrase, again, coming off of that C that's from the previous phrase. Right up and down. Or is that okay? Okay, let's do it again then. Again. We have all of the bits of the first half, 16 bars of Thursday Night at the Cali. So, let's put it together. How did the tune start again? Yeah, extended pickup, right? It lasts half a... Right down the scale from G. Would you like me to play this whole 16 bars first? Okay. All right, so listening... And I'll play the whole 16 bars. Notice that we have this phrase that's going to be more or less repeated, almost exactly, at the the 1 to 4 bar and the what's it going to be 9 to 12. Yeah, and then we have an answering phrase. The first answering phrase and the second answering phrase. You want to take note of those because we will use them. Okay, here we go. Oh, here I go. Just me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right, the ending is only half a bar of C. So it's tempting to just linger there, but you're going to be moving on. You're either going to be playing the pickup note, which lasts the other half of the bar, or you're going to be moving into the next phrase, which also has a half a bar of pickup note. All right, so now that everybody stayed quiet and listened to me play 16 bars, which you all didn't, we could do better at that. Let's all play this time, okay?
Okay.
Here we go.
Sorry.
me give a couple of extra points that you can put in if you want to. Like I said before, this is a Scottish tune written by somebody in Scotland. It is current in Cape Breton.
Mm-hmm.
I'm teaching this as a Cape Breton style tune because that's where I heard it, which means that I'm going to give you a few Cape Breton style points. So anytime I have an opportunity to play the double, fourth finger and open string, this does not follow the same rules. If you have a classical music background and you're used to, oh, if I'm not going higher up the scale, I'm going to play the fourth finger. If I am going higher up the scale, I don't. Well, that is not the rule that applies. It's basically if it's convenient to thicken the note with this ornament, then you use it, whether you're going down or up. So places that might happen. Now I combined that with doing a double stop because why not, right? But you see that it harmonizes itself that way, and I slip in that fourth finger just as part of that sequence. I could do it there. And a classical musician would not, because you're going back up. A opportunistic double stop. Many opportunities for me to slip in a finger, mainly on the E, but there's that one section where there's a repeated A, and I could do it there if I want. Okay. All right, let's play it again a few times through. If you want to try out that fourth finger ornamentation thing, go ahead. Remember, it's not a substitute for the open string, it's in addition. And there's this sort of art to getting it like just the right amount of twinge. Like if you're way off, it's like, ew, that's gross, right? But there's no need to aim for perfection because the idea is it thickens the note. The same thing happens with any group of massed violin players, fiddle, whether it's fiddle tradition or classical tradition or whatever. When you put those strings together, the fact that they're not exactly perfectly tuned is what makes it not sound like a computer playing and instead makes it sound like live music with a thick sound. Of course, it is everybody's goal not to be too far out of tune, but it's okay if it's not perfectly on. That's more authentic. All right, let's play it again, mess around with that ornamentation thing. that feeling? Pretty good? Yeah? Any questions or comments?
I just want to apologize to the group.
Oh, no, you know, we all forget about that. Don't worry about it now.
Trying to
Just,
explain what
yeah.
we were doing.
If you do want to get a jump on learning it when I'm doing the playthrough for it, I'm trying to be clear. That's why I ask people not to play so that they can hear. But try fingering along. Try playing the note. Right? That'll help you do that. So it's not a problem to follow along closely like that. But when we're trying to get a clear sample for people to say, oh, it really goes that way. They may be listening for a particular note that they missed, or trying to get a better idea of how it goes in a certain section. So it's better if there's not extra notes. All right, so continuing Thursday night at the Cali, I said you would be happy that you learned certain phrases because they come back. Here's how the B part goes, and attention for things that sound familiar. So what did people get out of that? Sort of like the beginning change of the right, it's like this little B part theme, and then the same answering phrase, and then the same part theme, and then the second answering phrase. So you get to recycle half of what you learned. So let's learn the new phrase. This is incredibly complicated. Does everybody know the key of C arpeggio? Going to have a C note in it for sure, but the other notes are E and G. That's your standard arpeggio. We're going to use these three notes, this E, that G, and the C on top. So, and we come down, we go up, and then we repeat C. Oh, sorry, it's a D. It's a D. Okay, so up, down, up, D. The first two bars, the second two bars of the new phrase, again arpeggio. So just real heavy use of that C arpeggio. This is why I say it's always worth your while to practice scales and arpeggios because they're going to come up in your tunes. So, are we ready to put together the 4 bars? Okay. Let's start with the arpeggio bit. Yeah, that worked pretty well. Let's do it again. Pickup notes that last half a bar. Can anybody come up with some good pickup notes that last half a bar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey. That sounds really good, especially since our next note is E, right? Let's do that again. we go from here? Familiar? So let's do that much. Yeah. Let's do it again. And the tag from the A part applies here. And then we go repeat our theme again. So I think we could predict how the rest of the tune goes. Second ending. Potomac scale. Yeah. So let's do our second phrase again. Let's take it from the transitional. So we've got the whole tune. Let's put the B part together, the 16-bar phrase. So it's got our standard half-bar pickup note. Then it's the arpeggio phrase. Our answering phrase. Transition back. Arpeggio up to the end phrase. Lots of pentatonic. And that's the whole B part. Let's try it all together, not too fast. together. Now, you know that those answering phrases are the same in both things. So the only thing, and we know that the pickup, right? So the only thing we have to do now is remember what our key phrase was in the first half. Does anybody remember? Yeah, pretty much. You're on the right track. Does it sound right? Okay, so that's all we need to cue ourselves for playing this whole 64-bar tune. All right, let's give it a go. Let's take it no faster for starters, but at some point I do want to speed it up because it's a little easier to keep track of where you are in this piece if it's not super slow. The B part. I fell into that trap that I warned you all of. Let's play the second B and then go back and do it a little faster, like I said, so I have a better chance of keeping track.
Viewers and listeners can extend their work to the little sign and see
So yeah, anyway, Thursday night at the Cali, Scottish tune played in Cape Breton style, right? Because I just get finished playing a Scottish country dance weekend where we play all our jigs with dots, right? And this is not dotted. And it's because the type of dancing to this type of jig is a sort of a straight shuffle type of thing, where you have an equal movement for each note. So some of the notes get a little more weight, but they do not really get more time.
Is it something that's a Cape Breton or just this particular tune?
That's a Cape Breton jig style in general. Yeah. And opposed to, you know, if I were doing it Scottish style, like this is going to feel strange. It just sounds so weird. It's like not right. Yeah. So I probably wouldn't play this tune for Scottish country dance. It's just in my mind in this very Cape Breton way. It's a great tune for stepping. I would definitely play this at a Cape Breton square dance if I ever did.
Because for one thing, it's really long.
Yeah. It would last. I wouldn't have to think of as many other C jigs, minor jigs to go with it. Anyway, so that is Thursday night at the Cali, and I would propose that we either play it one more time fast. Yeah? Okay, we got takers. Let's do it. All right, and then we'll move on to another tune. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. let's move on to another tune. I would propose that we do a reel next because this reel is fancy sounding but straightforward in its construction. How's that sound? Yeah, does it sound good to have it? Yeah, the best kind, right? Fancy sounding. So it sounds harder than it is. Let me play it for you. One of the players who has come to my local Kaylee in Cape Breton frequently is Howie McDonald, and he's just fantastic. He's also got a great sense of humor, and he's composed a lot of good tunes, and many of them are not easily found because they're not published. He hasn't published like his own book that I've ever heard of, but some of the tunes are found in other places. And then one of the great resources is Paul Cranford, whose website has its own search engine, so you can search just the website for tunes or references to tunes. Sometimes Paul will transcribe certain tunes off of somebody's album. So if somebody like Howie, who has recorded a bunch of albums, there are a number of examples of that Paul's transcribed from the albums, including his own tunes, which are not otherwise published. So this one is called the Westburn Reel. Westburn, not Western. Westburn. Like it's the name of a hotel or something. I really don't know. I don't know the story behind the tune because he played it, but he didn't particularly tell it. He did go into detail about another one of his tunes, which he played in the same medley, which was called the Cavity Investigator. Yes, he dated a dental hygienist for a while. He wrote this tune for her. But we're learning the Westburn, and that one he didn't elaborate at all. He just told the name and he played it. Yeah, I gotta watch out the end. Because it's not quite as easy to play the ending as it is to play all the other stuff. One more shot at that one. Let's see if I can get that turnaround. Okay, I got the turnaround in tempo that time. Yay me. Okay. So Westburn Reel sounds fancy, right? Mm-hmm. So you really have to learn one trick. So the trick that you really want to know for this tune is the burl, spoken with a Scottish accent, burl, which is how it sounds. In Cape Breton, they just tend to call these cuts. You can, it's basically a decoration on a quarter note. But instead, I'm playing. So it's a bowed ornament, which means it's optional to leave it out. If the burls are not working for you today or any other time, you can just play the quarter note and it's legit. That's the essence of the tune. But let's try. Let's go ahead and do. Is working. There is a trick to it, which is that it's usually easier to do it a consistent direction. So if we're putting two notes after it, I want to kind of engineer it so it's gonna, my burl is gonna be a consistent direction. I find it easier to do down bow, which most people do. Some people can only do it one direction. When I first learned how to do this thing, I could only do it up bow. Just saying. So I would engineer everything so all the bows were up bow. Then I learned to do it down bow, and then I decided, well, I actually prefer that. But the end result is, personally, I could do it both directions, but I still have a way that I favor, which is down bow. But for you, it could be the other way, and that's allowed. You should be consistent about it, especially if you're not completely confident that you can whip out a burl anytime you need one, because setting it up is really key to being able to do it consistently. So it's always best done high up on the bow. If you're playing an instrument other than fiddle, obviously there are different techniques. But if you're playing a wind instrument and you break up the sound by using your tongue, you want to use a very hard syllable like tuck-a-da, rather than da-ba-da, ba-ba-da, ba-da. Right? That's going to give you a slower and not as tight burl. So you try to work on getting that tongue to be very percussive. And for instruments that involve keyboards, you often roll the fingers on the same key. So for a piano accordion or a piano, you'd be hitting that key with a roll of fingers, because that way you can get faster. So you have to practice these techniques depending on your instrument. Okay. Out of 8 in the first half of this tune use that start. So you really want to know how to do that consistently. Now, kind of a rule of thumb, in order to keep your bowing consistent direction so that the next one doesn't show up coming the other way, it's a habit to slur the 2 notes that follow this burl. And then I'm ready for the next one to be the same direction. Because that burl is 3 notes, so it's an odd number, it's turned down the other way. So just get in the habit of slurring whatever comes next, the next 2 things. So what does come next in this tune next bar 2, starts the same way. Which you have to not slur after that. Up bow, separate. So that's bar 2. Bar 3 starts the same way. Up the scale. Yeah. Okay, so now we have 3 bars out of 8, which means we have 6 bars out of 8. So we need ending of phrase. So we just had up the scale. That's setting up to us play something totally different, which is the exact same rhythm, different notes. And there's a G note there. have a measure there. Slurring, separate. So that fourth measure put together. Okay, let's do the 4-bar phrase. So let me mark it out for you. Notice the differences are. First bar, second, quarter note, scale, end of phrase. Let's play it. Can we do about that pace? Okay. And again. How's that coming along? Yeah? Okay, the second phrase, the other half of the A part of the tune. I'll play it, and you signal me when you hear that it's different, where it parts from the other half. Only the last note. In other words, it is the same, and the only thing that's different is the transition for going on to the next part. So it's basically a direct repeat, other than this pickup, ascending pickup. So let's play the whole A part. Everybody got that note? Yeah, that one, D. Yes. Okay, let's do the A part again. Ready, go. Okay, let's learn the next part. The next also kind of has a theme. It's not quite as easy as the A part theme, but it's very similar. So the beginning of it, instead of being, it's now. So we've changed one note. All right, so let's play that first bar with that E first. Next measure. quite there. I have to add one more thing. Third bar, same as the first. This is the same as the verse. We now have a fourth bar. This fourth bar is the same as the fourth bar of the A part. Yeah. Okay, so let's put together 4 bars of the B part now. Would you like to hear me put them? Yes. Okay, so listening, I start with that low E, high E, go up to G, so let's all try that. Here we go. Let's do it again. More?
One more time.
Yeah. Okay, let's practice it. There we go. So a couple of what would I want? What did I say? I just say I had a thought as I was playing it, and then I know what it was. So we have kind of this gratuitous pickup notes that lead you nowhere because the next note is right. So those pickup notes are not for convenience. Those pickup notes are for flash. Right, it's to add this little exciting woo in the middle of the phrase, right? Right, you have to say, oh wow, that got high. And then you jump down low, right? So it's not pickup notes that help you get anywhere. In fact, they kind of misdirect you, but it's fun. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say about that. The other thing is that every time that we've been doing this burl on the A, you could be doing it with the fourth finger and the open string if you dare. Now, so I told this story before, but I'm going to say it again because it definitely applies here. On one of my earliest trips to Cape Breton, in fact, is I've been to Cape Breton before, but I hadn't been specifically to music things until this trip. So I was really into Cape Breton tunes at that point. It's like, oh yeah, I had a workshop with Buddy McMaster. I know all about it. And John Campbell taught too. And I had seen, gone to like workshops with maybe 3 or maybe possibly 4 Cape Breton fiddlers at that point. So I had limited experience. And I was like, yeah, I know all about this style. Well, I went and I sat in with some people and they were having a little round robin type of session. And when it was my turn to play, I'm like playing this tune. I was like, I'm so authentic Cape Breton style. And then the comment was, well, you don't use the back string very much, just do you? They meant that fourth finger thing. It was like go back to the back string. And I thought I was putting in a bunch of them. Apparently not nearly enough. So that my message here is that really every possible open string is an opportunity to double it up with a 4-finger. And you can take as many of those opportunities as you can manage and not overdo it. Because, this is not just an ornament, but also a way to amplify your fiddle. And if you're playing in the old days unamplified in a dance hall, you're going to want that sound. So probably done a lot. And I would say it's maybe done less so in modern times, because now it's an ornament for style purposes rather than for functional purposes. So probably the older players used it even more. So just, a little observation there. So let's play this B part, and if you feel like you've got the basics of the note, go ahead and do that. It's certainly easier to get it from the note than it would have been from, right, less convenient there. But in the B part, we're starting from below, so not too bad. All right, so the B part, we've got the 4 bars that we've been working. Let's do it again. And again. Yes, that is exactly how it goes. All right, we have to finish the tune. The second half of the B part starts exactly the same. Ooh, because this is now a functional pickup note instead of a flash one, right? Because I'm going there. So we have to learn the fancy ending. Are you okay with skipping those 2 bars that are a repeat? Let's go right into the fancy ending. Except we'll do the pickup notes to that. So F sharp G heading to the A. That's the start of the second to last bar. All right. So this is a little unusual because most Celtic tunes do not do this kind of repeaty thing, but it's doing that's just like, wow, that's so unusual in a Scottish style tune. I had to listen to it multiple times. I was convinced that it must be something like, or but it wasn't. So that bar is C arpeggio notes. Boy, that's a familiar thing, isn't it? All right, good thing we know what they are. What are they?
C, G, E.
C, E, and G? Yeah, if you said C, G, or E, you're right. So it's an E, C, G, C. Which was the deedle, yeah. last measure. Any predictions on what it is? No, because you're savvier than that. You already know that was a trick. Because this one's different, right? All the others were and either or. This is not. It's totally not. So we set it up differently, right? With Fiddle dealing. This is the G arpeggio. And it's immediately followed by a pentatonic scale. The notes we skip are C and F. So that's where we went. That's where we started. So let's add that arpeggio back in. This is the busiest part of the tune, despite the flash with the burls and everything earlier. It's so we get the diddle diddle, then the C arpeggio, then G arpeggio, pentatonic scale. Let's all play that. Yeah? Let's try adding it to the end of the phrase. So if we put it with so let's try that whole 4-bar phrase. I messed it up, sorry. Try it again. Let's do it again. Should we try the whole 8-bar B part? Okay, so remember the first time for flash goes up to A and then it goes right back down. Regular ending. Now the second time, functional, diddle diddle. the whole B part. Let's try it no faster. Maybe even a smidge slower. And again. Okay. Now, in real life, the B part doesn't repeat. You know, you get those 8 bars, and then you go back to the A part and play the tune again. So this, it leads right into. So it cycles you right back to the start. And plus, just give away the answer to the question is, does anybody remember how the A part started? I just gave it away. So let's try the entire tune. It's essentially 4-bar phrases with the very slightest of differences in transition.
We are repeating the beat?
Nope.
We're not.
It says the 8 bars of A part, 8 bars of B part.
Okay.
That's all you get. 6-bar tune. You can play it as many times as you want. All right, here we go. okay, we could go a little faster than that, but that's enough for me. All right, so did you make it? Did you make it to the end? Or close? Yeah, so that's the Westburn Wheel by Howie McDonald, and we have a note of appreciation from Connie Walker, who's tuned in from Florida, who says, "Oh, I'm so happy to hear that Howie is still playing," and a whole bunch of other things about how fun it was to hear Howie. All right, so that,
May I make a request?
Yeah.
before we go to the next one? Are
Yeah.
you able to play that investigating cavities?
um,
I mean, just so we can have, so we
let's
can hear
see.
it?
Well,
So that was-
I'm trying to think if I brought it along. You could play it for your dental hygienist friends.
Exactly.
Yes. Did I bring it? I might have it. I didn't practice this one. Maybe it's in here. It looks like I did not bring it.
Okay.
Yeah. I brought all kinds of things this weekend, but that is not brought. Yeah, but if you send me a note about it, I'll try to remember to bring it to next Fiddle Club. I transcribe it. The title was intriguing. All right, so how many people want to learn a whole bunch more tunes by ear? Yeah, right. No, I could teach you another one by ear, but I think these two were already the most accessible. The other ones are not necessarily hard, and I have one that's quite short, but let's go ahead and hand around some sheet music. Did people print it out?
Does anyone need a stand? We're going to the next one.
I guess while we're doing this, we could have a few announcements. So the Fiddle Club dance party is May 30th, which is a Saturday. This is the weekend after Memorial Day weekend, so you will not be running into that sort of vacationing thing. So it's Saturday, May 30th in the afternoon at 2 at Glen Echo Town Hall. And we will be having information about rehearsals if you want to join the band. You can also come and help out as a volunteer because we always need people to do things in the hall, like, yeah, or come dance, take admissions, so help with setup, help with cleanup, help with the refreshments. Take one from they are not collated, so take one page, and then there will be 4 different pages coming along. And are we still doing sign-up sheets? Yeah, okay. So we don't know if you have it or not. Not anymore. Yeah, there should be enough for everybody here. Here's the next page. Yeah, I have previous months. So when we break up for potluck dinner, we can give you previous months that you might have missed. So here's the last page coming down. Thank you. Has everybody got a chance to get the pages? 4 sheets, 26, 27, 28, 29. All right. So relating to Sandy's question of could I play the cavity investigator, I set up a whole bunch of things in a folder that was related to this month's workshop that I was going to bring along. That tune is in there. Likewise, the other version of this McKinnon's March that's on page 26. This tune is from William Ross's piping collection, I think. That's where I was supposed to have the page of the piping collection it's from. So it's from a piping collection where is it a 3-part 6/8 march. This is Ashley McIsaac's version, and he's converted it into a march in full meter instead of 6/8. You know, basically is moving in 2s and 4s. And but the interesting thing is that the melody is basically the same notes. It's just that he has retimed it. So I wish I could play you the other version of it because it's interesting. But let me play you this version. And so it's the McKinnon's March. That spelling that's in parentheses in its piping source. And then Ashley calls it McKinnon's marching tune. A lot. It actually recorded on one of his albums about 20 years ago, where he, he's had a very varied career, but at various points he's turned back to the trad sound, and so one of his trad albums, in I think the 2000s, features this tune. So it's been in circulation in this way in Cape Breton for a while now. This tune has perfect opportunities to use that. It's a very long A note. Right. So let's go ahead and play, and you can use vowel on the E as well if you wish, but definitely try it for those A's. Try to hit it. Here we go. bowing. For everybody using bows, this piece works best if you throw all of your classical bowing rules out the window and play nothing slurred and start the wrong direction. So instead of an up bow slur, instead you want to be like, the priority is getting the snap down bow. So working backwards, you're going to be playing that first quarter note downbeat up bow. So you're either going to go up, not slurred, or down slurred. So if I start off with that first quarter note as an up bow, it sets me up for basically the whole tune.
And when you do the snap, you do down up.
The down up snap is definitely just from the from the perspective of the mechanics of it. It's a stronger snap, a cleaner snap. It's a lot easier to do than if you do down up on the snap rhythm. It tends to be cleaner and tighter. All right, shall we move on?
So I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
So in the fourth measure, or the end of the first line, you do the snap.
Mm-hmm.
And the second, in the fourth beat, it's a dotted.
Yes.
So is that just played like every other, like you're playing the quarter notes and the eighth note's dotted anyhow?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Or is it different?
So it's going to be like... Yeah. And so a lot of them feel like they're going the other direction from what you think they should be. But that type of dot and snap pattern is definitely individual to the player. As in, you could put snaps where some of the dots are. However, there's kind of like a Cape Breton feel for marches. And if you listen to enough Cape Breton players playing marches, you kind of get the idea of, that's probably going to be snapped there. Yes, it is. Or that's probably timed. Yep, okay. So it kind of gets verified by listening and saying, they kind of have a habit of dotting the marches in a certain way. And they would do that regardless of whether the sheet music said dot or snap, or nothing, or neither one. If it was just written, they still dot and snap it, and it would come out sounding a bit like this. This is Ashley McIsaac's personal version. Like I said, it's derived from a 6/8 source, so nothing he ever heard or saw said got it this way, because it was in a different meter. So this is an interpretation, but it's a pretty cool one, and like I said, it has gained plenty of currency, so other people play it in 4 instead of all in 6/8. In fact, you have to look pretty hard to find the 6/8 source. All right. Any other questions? Let's go on to the next tune, the Strathspey. So that has a Gaelic title, Mobile Del Hula, which is a little bit of an elaborate way of saying Sweet Mary, because Vin is dear, Vial and Ulick are also adjectives that basically just elaborate on that. If you look really closely, you're like, oh, it means bright-eyed, but it doesn't just, the phrase means beautiful. And basically, when I put it into the Gaelic translator, it started like, my dear Mary, no, my sweet Mary, no, my beguiling Mary, no, my... It's like, okay, just make it, like as soon as I put on one or more of these adjectives, it would just, kind of come up with synonyms for So, My Sweet Mary is how it's, sort of short known in English. And there's probably a song that goes with it that uses these specific Gallic words, but I don't know the song. I've never heard anybody sing to it. Let me play it for you. Oh, yeah. So the weird ending, that's an ornament. It's inserting a burl bowing into a note that is not just on one pitch. This is Brenda Stubbert's version, and I thought I might have spotted a error in there, so let me look it up. Brenda Stubbert. Picture of Brenda. She now has 3 books out that are both traditional and her own original compositions. So she's one of the active tune composers these days. And yeah, so I'm right. The first note should not be a G, it should be an A, like it is in bar 3. I thought that was an error. So there's always something that I catch. So we can all correct that on the sheet music. I'll issue a corrected version that will be posted in the online version of the music for download. So you do not have to play the fancy ornament at the end. You can just do perfectly fine. Or also fine. Okay, so let's try playing it, and remember the first note is A, not G. So the snaps might be Brenda's personal take on it. The snaps might be according to Gallic words. I've never quizzed Brenda on whether she sings in Gallic, but I don't think so. I might be wrong about that. All right, speaking of Brenda Stubbart, on the next page we have Brenda Stubbart's Jig by Howie McDonald. So another Howie tune. And this came from Brenda's collection. Let me play it for you. Okay. All right, let's give it a go. Slower. Go full speed. So Brenda Stubbart's Reel by Jerry Holland, another one we all know. Now we have Brenda Stubbart's Jig by Howie McDonald. All right, the next tune, boy, this one is competing with Thursday Night at the Cali for my title of coolest tune I learned in Cape Breton this year. Corporal AB is how it's circulating and how it's known, but I found out more about it. And the reason is, okay, Cape Breton is very much a thing where family connections are part of the culture. You know, people always want to know who you're connected to. And once they figure that out, they're like, oh, that's who you are, right? And it kind of leads to, there's a lot of community ties built this way. It's also a little bit bamboozling for people from the outside. Because you're like, well, I don't have any Cape Breton relatives, you know, so then they want to know things like, oh, who did you learn your Cape Breton fiddling from? It's kind of like it's your fiddling ancestry or whatever. But you know, so it can be kind of intimidating because you get this quiz. And so like, who are you and where did you come from and where did you learn this music? You feel like you have to kind of answer the questions right. However, really what they're just trying to do is like understand, okay, do you get who we are and where do you fit into this? And then once they understand, oh yeah, you're genuinely interested in this stuff, they're very, very welcoming. So I'll try to make it brief, but many years ago, I met this woman who plays Scotch tunes on saxophone. There aren't that many people who do that. So it was very memorable. Anyway, then I met her again, like 20 years later, and we were like, yeah, that was an amazing session. So her son is now a musician as well, and he was playing at this Haley that I talked about. He played this tune. I was like, oh my gosh, this is one of the coolest tunes I've ever heard. And then, no, he played guitar, but he also plays fiddle. There are a lot of people who have, fiddle as a second instrument just because it's, an easy way to join in with seconds playing fiddle. Anyway, so he said that this tune was composed by his great uncle. And then he mentioned the name, and then I knew about this great uncle because I had met Carl McKenzie many years ago, playing, teaching a workshop, playing music, and Carl McKenzie is not the great uncle who wrote the tune. It was Carl's brother, who is was not as widely known as a fiddler, but he played. Not as widely known as Carl, because Carl's quite well known, Carl McKenzie. So Hector McKenzie, one of Carl's siblings, wrote this tune for a neighbor, described as a kitchen fiddler, which means he plays, at little home jam sessions in people's kitchens. He doesn't play out for dances, festivals and things like that. So, Corporal Angus B. Gardner. So that's what it's named for, and that's why I put the name in parentheses, but the tune circulates as Corporal A.B. So let me play it for you, and not only did Ryan McNeil play this tune, but then I heard it again, another group of performers playing at the Cayley, which was Dara Smith McDonald and Adam Young, and Adam played it solo on piano at one point. So I ended up transcribing it from Adam's solo piano recording of this tune because, you'll hear. It caught my ear. Let me just say that. So, what, did anybody notice?
Not 16.
Right, it's not 16 bars, it's, yeah, it's has extra. And then from there, it proceeds to have an 8-bar phrase. Yeah, so instead of a four bar, yeah.
It's like 6 and 8 instead of.
It's like 6 plus 8 instead of 8 plus 8 or 4 plus 4. Yeah. So it's different. It's a crooked tune. Yeah. So that got my ear immediately, and it's so cool. And the interesting thing is it wouldn't really mess up the Cape Breton squares to be played in a jig. They do not need square phrasing for the dances. They're very flexible. Not originally the Cape Breton squares were quadrilles that had to have a certain structure. Most of them have relaxed the figures enough that you can get away with playing these 6-bar phrases instead of 4-bar phrases, and you can get away with playing even 9/8 jigs, and it'll still sort of work. I wouldn't recommend that necessarily, but it can be done. Anyway, let's now play Corporal AD so you can experience for yourself. It's 3 bars, 3 bars, and then move into 4-bar phrases. Say that often researching these kind of tunes, I heard them played. I didn't necessarily get to sit down and learn them. So I just asked people, what is the name of that? Or maybe they said it. I scribble down the names and I try to find it. I've got a lot of resources and I always call Cranford because he's a walking tune encyclopedia. But you can't just say, Paul, that tune that was a jig in G or minor, G minor or something. You have to have something to go on. So, but one of the resources a lot of us turn to is the session.org, which has a lot of things transcribed. You have to be cautious. Some of them are well done, some of them are not. So the version of this on session.org heroically tried to make this tune fit that 8-bar pattern, and it doesn't. Yeah. So it's actually just I mean, like, somebody thought they were maybe doing it right because all these tunes are up with 8-bar phrases, right? But this is an exception, and so got to be cautious about sources like that. It's only as good as the person transcribing it, and errors creep in, and also people misremember, and they might have remembered, oh, that tune was really cool, but they did not actually count it out like I did at the Kaylee's. That is a 6-bar phrase. Wow. Okay, so should we play it a little faster? Because we only did it slow. Okay. I just think that's a great tune. All right, so on page 28, we have a tune by Brent Hubbard called Burning House. And this was written, I don't know, 20 years ago. And Ashley McGuire's house is the one that I don't know any of the details other than Brenda wrote this tune to mark that particular incident, and it caught on. Yeah, okay, I'm not going to go where the like wildfire, right? So anyway, this tune has caught on, and it's been recorded and played a bunch of different fiddlers at this point. Are you glad that I didn't try to teach you that one by ear? Westburn's a little easier to catch. All right, let's play it slow.
down bow, you just kind of forget about it.
I try to make them start on a down bow.
And so you just think ahead and slur something, or how do you?
Yeah,
how do
well,
you do
I
that?
try, but in this tune, I make sure that ends with me down bow. So if it wasn't going to be down bow, I would slur that. If I knew going into it that I'm up bow here, I better slur. It becomes second nature with a lot of practice. Yeah. So if it doesn't work out naturally that the burls are down bow, I engineer it. But I like it when you just kind of happen on a bowing pattern that's going to work, make them settle in. All right, we've got one more tune we haven't done yet. Tom McCormick. So, unlike so many of these tunes, in fact, other than the first page, a lot of these tunes are modern, right? Recent compositions. And in the case of the first page, we have Ashley McCormick totally reworking an older pipe march. So it's almost like it's a new tune or new version of it. Anyway, Tom McCormack, this is an example of a tune that was composed by an older generation fiddler. So Angus Chisholm, I never got to hear him play. He had already passed away by the time I finally made my way up to Cape Breton. His brother Archie Neal Chisholm was kind of like a grand old man of the Cape Breton festivals at the time. He was a very popular MC for the festivals because he knew everybody and he could introduce everything because he knew this music and he knew all the people who played. Anyway, his brother, Archie Neal's brother, was Angus Chisholm, and so back in the day, and when would this have been? Like the 40s or 50s. Angus Chisholm would have been playing for dances and stuff. So there are recordings of him. So quite famous, and a lot of people loved his music and incorporated his repertoire as well as his original tunes. So a lot of players still play associated with him, whether he composed them or he used to always play that at the dance or at the festival. So let me play it for you. Had a nice long pinky finger because he frequently writes tunes that go up to that high C, and I doubt he was. I kind of just stretched it up there. My pinky doesn't want to cooperate with that, so I generally. C. Yes, it was a little farther in that case. Yes, so let's go ahead and play this, and I'll just add a little addendum. Because the square dances became so popular, they have two figures, three sections: a jig section, another jig section, and then a reel section. The reel one is extended. The players tended to use a lot more of the traditional tunes for the reels, but there were a lot fewer traditional Scottish jigs in circulation, and so quite a number of Cape Breton players composed jigs because they just needed more of them. You know, two jig sections when you're playing for every dance. They're like, wow, I already played that traditional Scottish jig. I better come up with something else. So they did. So not a surprise that there are a lot of jigs of this, era of this type. Because
It sounds like really familiar.
it is. It's quite well known. Quite well known. But it's quite well known because he wrote it, not because it sounds like something else.
Yeah.
However,
I think how would I have known that? It just seems like I don't recognize that.
Jerry Hall recorded it, And Jerry Allen used to play it a lot. He was one of the fans of Angus Chisholm that I mentioned. Okay, we have had a tune or two by Angus Chisholm before in club. So you can look for Tea Gardens. That's one I'm sure that we've had, and there might be some others, but I can't think of them. I would have to do a search. Do you want to play the two ear tunes before we finish up? So Thursday night at Cali. look at hot tunes from Cape Breton this time around, and there are lots more where those came from. So every time I do another workshop, and it's been 33 years teaching these workshops, if you can believe that. We've done a lot of tunes, and I always think, oh, sooner or later I'm going to run out of all the good. I have never run out of the good tunes. There are always more, and teaching these workshops encourages me to learn new tunes, and just keep my ears open for all the best tunes I can find. And boy, there are a lot of them. It's a great tradition. All right. Well, thanks for coming to the workshop today. And for those online, see you next time. And reminder that you should play in the Fiddle Club dance.
Oh yeah, rehearsal will be in May.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the sets will come out early in May.
The sets will come earlier than that. We'll have the sets.
Time to practice.
Yeah, we'll have the set available for download on the website. Probably within a week, 2 at the most. And we'll have a program with dances ready and a flyer that you can circulate. If you go to any dance classes or you go to related activities, you can take this flyer with you. And encourage people to come to dance, because it's way more fun if we're playing for actual dancers. And sometimes the band outnumbers the dancers. We've had that happen. Not so much recently, but it has happened. So we want to make sure people are coming. May 30th, 2 in the afternoon for the dance. And we'll definitely send around a little notice about the rehearsal times and dates once they're all set up. Yeah. Okay. Right. See ya.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Okay. Let me do. So how can I exit this? Doesn't want to exit. Oh, end. Let's do that. There we go. Okay.